Super Mario RPG was originally released in 1996 for the SNES. Now, Super Mario RPG is one of those games that I've heard about pretty much my entire life. It's not something I ever was really interested in. I like Mario, but I'm not the biggest RPG fan. So those two really just didn't sound fun for me. But regardless, I had heard about it a lot. I think growing up I'd seen Thane play it maybe a few times. I don't know if he had it for the Wii, or if he had it on an SNES. I don't think he did. I think if I did see him play it, it was on the Wii. Regardless, I remember watching somebody play it. I just assumed it was Thane. He's usually the guy that had all the games. But once again, just didn't really sound fun for me. And then I think at some point when I was looking into it, it was kind of expensive to buy the physical copy. Plus, I didn't have an SNES at the time. So there wasn't really a way for me to play it because I wasn't going to buy it on my Wii at the time of when I had my Wii. I don't even think I knew about the Wii Virtual Console or buying things online at all. Barely even knew what Wi-Fi was, okay? So anyway, I didn't really have a way to play it, nor did I want to, until recently, last year in 2023, the remake was developed by RD Piazza, Artepiazza, and that was released in 2023. The original game was developed by Square, by the way. Very interesting. And published by Nintendo. But didn't play it. Anyway, as of March 2024, Super Mario RPG Remake has sold 3.3 million copies. So it's not like it's not a popular game, because it is. People like Mario RPG. Now, I'm wondering if it's a nostalgia thing, because after playing this game, like, it's fine, but it's not like a super gaming banger. There are fun parts about it, and we'll get to it in a little bit, but overall my thoughts on the game is like, yeah, that was okay. That was an okay experience. It's kind of like baby's first RPG. Like, it's a very basic RPG. But anyway, I really like the art style of this game, and I'm specifically talking about the remake, by the way, because that's what I played on the Nintendo Switch. But yeah, the art style is really fun. I like the character design. It's kind of a little chibi-esque design when you get into the actual gameplay of it. But yeah, the mechanics are basic. It's turn-based, and you've got different moves. You unlock different characters along the way. You get Gino, who's a puppet. Of course, you play as Mario. You find this little cloud guy who is kind of fun and shoots lightning. Eventually, Peach joins your team after you save her from Bowser. And Bowser actually joins the team too. So that was probably like a super cool part about it back in the day, was this was one of the first games that you could play as Bowser. I don't know if this came out before Mario Kart or not, but I know that you could play as Bowser in Mario Kart. Regardless, this is like one of the first games where Bowser's on your team. Each character has different movesets. You can have different items in their hands. Like at some point, Mario gets a hammer. He can punch. Bowser can get like a little Mario toy to throw at people. He actually can throw Mario at people or at monsters at some point. So when you're doing these basic physical attack moves, you have to tap the A button at the right time to do more damage. If not, it's just doing basic amounts of damage. But you also do magic moves as well. You get FP, which actually stands for flower power. Kind of funny. But yeah, you kind of have to manage your health, your team's health, and also everybody's mana and FP. Different characters do different things. They have different roles. Peach is kind of a healer. The cloud guy is kind of a healer. Gino can do super amounts of damage because he's a puppet that can shoot laser beams. Bowser can do a lot of damage too. Mario's kind of a hard hitter. He's got this ground pound move where he jumps on people's heads and breaks their necks. But it's pretty fun kind of experimenting with all of it, leveling up your characters. And when you level up, you can either get more FP, more health, more HP, or you can get stronger. Physical attacks are stronger. So that's all pretty basic. When you're in combat, if ailments affect you, like you're falling asleep or poisoned or something, you can swap out characters in the middle of a fight, which is nice. So yeah, it's a pretty basic game. There's anything that's like too crazy about it. There are some puzzles that you solve in the overworld. Navigating in the overworld is fine. There isn't random encounters, which I don't know if that's how the first game is or not. All the monsters that you can come in contact with in the overworld then take you into a battle. Kind of like how the modern Pokemon games do it as well, which I prefer. I've played RPG games back in the day, growing up, and random encounters annoyed the hell out of me. So I'm glad that gaming as a whole is going away from that. Big fan. One thing that was super annoying was the battle theme. Every time you get into a basic fight with basic enemies, you hear this battle theme, and it is annoying to say the least, and you hear it so much. There's no variations. When you fight stronger monsters, you get a different battle theme, but when you're in the overworld and you're fighting Shy Guys and you're fighting 10 of them in a row, and oh my lord, the song just keeps playing. I think at some point I had to mute it. I would turn off my speakers every time I got to into a battle, just because you get in so many fights. Like it is insane, and you don't have to, like, you don't really, I don't know, I don't think you have to grind. There wasn't really any point where I felt like I needed to grind. Maybe in the beginning a little bit, but it's also like I was still learning how to play the game, so instead of progressing and hitting a boss and getting stuck, I was just learning the combat by encountering as many enemies as possible. That being said, the very last bit of the game was like a 3-hour gauntlet, and the final boss was like a 20-minute fight for me. Now, I know that in most JRPGs, that's probably on the shorter side of things like this. Now, I've played some modern JRPGs with not necessarily turn-based combat, like Xenoblade, for example, and the final areas of those games can be longer anyway, with gauntlet boss fights. But this one for me was, it was tough. Like, I think that there was one time I was fighting the final boss, and I was like maybe 3/4 in, and then I died and had to restart. And it's annoying. I understand that that's part of the difficulty of these JRPGs, is a lot of item management, party management, making sure you have the right party, experimenting with different things. And if there's one thing I've learned over the years of playing JRPGs, is healers are incredibly important. So don't ever go into a battle thinking that you're just gonna glass cannon everything. You need healers. The game looks great. I love the music overall. It's got very chipper soundtrack, a lot of very upbeat instruments. It's got a happy vibe. The areas are cool. There's lots of different areas you go to, from like sea ship areas to cloud areas. You've got the starting world. You've got Peach's castle that you go to. So there's just a lot of different areas to go to. And the game's not like stupid long. I beat it in about 13 and a half hours. But I didn't try to do everything. I was playing pretty basic, just killing things, finding items here and there, and then just experiencing the story. You start out like you meet this cloud guy. He doesn't know who he is or who his family is, so you're helping him remember who he is and find his family. But then Peach is also kidnapped by Bowser, of course, so you go get her back. But then Bowser loses his kingdom to this alien sword dude, so now Bowser's teamed up with you. So it's kind of a fun ride, but it's like, it's nothing crazy. Typical JRPGs, the stories seem to be like super insane, at least from what I've played. Whenever I think about like a JRPG, the first one that comes to my mind, and probably a lot of people, is of course Final Fantasy VII, which I have not experienced the story, but I've heard all about it. And yes, I know that main spoiler that everybody talks about. So I think I will eventually play Final Fantasy VII. I want to play the remake, and then I want to go back and play the older version as well. A lot of people probably would say play the old version first, and maybe I will. I don't know. I've always said that I wasn't going to play Final Fantasy VII, but I want to. That's a JRPG I want to play. I want to play Chrono Trigger at some point. So there's just lots of these cult classics in gaming that I'm wanting to experience. I'm not saying that Super Mario RPG isn't a cult classic, because like I said, I've heard lots of people talk about it over the years, and it seems like it's pretty well loved in the gaming community, but it just wasn't like amazing. I think Baby's First RPG is a good description for Super Mario RPG. But yeah, those are just my thoughts on the game. It wasn't terrible. Like I did enjoy certain aspects of it. Some parts, like the end game, felt like a grind, and it was tough. Intentionally, that's what JRPGs do. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd ever replay this game. I don't think I would ever go back and play the original either. I'm not sure what they've added or taken away. I haven't really watched any videos on the comparison of the two. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know your guys' thoughts on Super Mario RPG. Let me know some of your favorite parts about it, things you didn't like. Maybe there's some secrets that you discovered that you thought were really fun you want to talk about as well. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and as always, keep it rad.